Okay, remember that they are changing my voice. Proverbs chapter 4. Get wisdom at any cost. You see the importance of wisdom. Wisdom calling out. The throne is established in righteousness, and the fruit of the righteous is a tree of life. The fruit of the righteous is wisdom. So my fruit is wisdom. So be right with my fruit. Get my fruit at any cost. It can only be attained in the way of righteousness, along the path of justice, with the beginning of wisdom, the fear of the Lord. Listen, my sons, to a father's instruction. Pay attention and gain understanding. I give you sound learning, so do not forsake my teaching. For I too was a son to my father, still tender and cherished by my mother. Then he taught me, and he said to me, take hold of my words with all of your heart. Keep my commands, and you will live. Get wisdom, get understanding. Do not forget my words or turn away from them. Do not forsake wisdom, and she will protect you. Love her, and she will watch over you. The beginning of wisdom is this: get wisdom, though it costs you all you have. Get understanding. Cherish her, and she will exalt you. Embrace her, and she will honor you. She will give you a garland to grace your head, and present you with a glorious crown. To present you with a glorious crown. Listen, my son, accept what I say, and the years of your life will be many. I instruct you in the way of wisdom and lead you along straight paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hampered. When you run, you will not stumble. Hold on to my instruction, do not let it go. Guard it well, for it is your life. Do not set foot on the path of the wicked or walk in the way of evildoers, right? The way, the truth, and the life. So when Christ was saying he's the way, the truth, and the life as a character in the story, he's alluding to Proverbs, among other books in the Bible, where it says that you have to walk in the way of righteousness along the path of justice, not on the path of the wicked or the evildoers. It goes on to say, avoid it, do not travel on it. Turn from it, and go your own way. For they cannot rest until they do evil. They are robbed of sleep till they make someone stumble. They eat the bread of wickedness and drink the wine of violence. The path of the righteous is like the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. But the way of the wicked is like deep darkness. They do not know what makes them stumble. My son, pay attention to what I say. Turn your ear to my words. Do not let them out of your sight. Keep them within your heart. For they are life to those who find them, and health to one's whole body. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Keep your mouth free of perversity. Keep corrupt talk far from your lips. Let your eyes look straight ahead. Fix your gaze directly before you. Give careful thought to the paths of your feet, and be steadfast in all your ways. Do not turn to the right or to the left. Keep your foot from evil. So as it's saying to get wisdom at any cost, it's saying stay on the path of the righteous. Scramble to do God's work. It describes the path of the righteous as getting more intense as time goes on, getting more precise and intense. So it describes it in a way that is comparing it to the morning sun, shining ever brighter till the full light of day. Okay, Proverbs 5, warning against adultery. My son, pay attention to my wisdom. Turn your ear to my words of insight, that you may maintain discretion and your lips may preserve knowledge. For the lips of the adulterous woman drip honey, and her speech is smoother than oil. But in the end, she is bitter as gall, sharp as a double-edged sword. So later in Proverbs, it describes that, trying to restrain the adulterous woman, the wicked woman, is like grasping oil in the hands, right? And the woman is not just, some evil woman. It could be an evil guy too, right? It's a city that's in rebellion against God. We see in Galatians 4, Paul says that Jerusalem of this world is lost in sin, and that Jerusalem correlates to Mount Sinai in this world. So when the instructions were given to the Israelites on Mount Sinai, two sets of instructions were given. One for the righteous interpretation, the right interpretation, universal pinpoint moral precision. The other was to the wicked, a flesh-based interpretation, where they believe they can do whatever they want to do, and that they'll enter the kingdom of heaven, and that their offspring will be fine, etc. When the Bible says in many places that no one can be established through wickedness, and that the offspring of the wicked will perish. Her feet go down to death, her steps straight to the grave. She gives no thoughts to the way of life. Her paths wander aimlessly, but she does not know it. So those in the spirit of the wicked city, they're wandering aimlessly, right? They're thoughtless, they're careless, they're aimless, they're senseless, they're reckless. They're not focusing on doing what is precisely right. And as a result of not focusing and thinking carefully, right, morally, mentally, spiritually, romantically, that they're going down to the grave, to the realm of the dead. Now then, my sons, listen to me. Do not turn aside from what I say. Keep to a path far from her. Do not go near the door of her house, lest you lose your honor to others and your dignity to one who is cruel. You see how it's saying to not lose their honor, not lose their dignity, not lose their discipline, not lose their wisdom and their insight and their sense. Because honor and dignity go beyond just what you think of when we hear the words. To truly have honor is to scramble to have all the life and martial art principles intact, whether you do martial arts or not. Because martial arts are life paths. And the life path of God is universal, pinpointed moral precision. And that's what I mean when I say monotheistic martial arts. To marshal, to order, to arrange, to fight the good fight of faith, to wear the armor of God. The reason why God is described as a warrior. And we'll get to that if I have time either today or tomorrow, where I'll be talking about the 40 plus scriptures that I wrote down that talk about how God is a warrior. They prove that I'm right when I say that it's a monotheistic and morally precise martial art order, which is the divine order of God. The reason why angels are depicted with swords and spears. We'll get to that. Okay. Lest strangers feast on your wealth and your toil enrich the house of another. Right? The one who has will be given more. Whoever has not, even what they have will be taken away from them. What they have to give spiritually, because they didn't store riches in heaven. At the end of your life you will groan. When your flesh and body are spent, you will say, how I hated discipline, how my heart spurned correction. I would not obey my teachers or turn my ear to my instructors. And I was soon in serious trouble in the assembly of God's people, right? It's an assembly of God's people, an order where there's commands and commandments and a chain of command. Okay, did they man their post with the armor of God? Were they in the warrior spirit of God? Or do they have regrets when they get older? Do they have, troublesome thoughts as a result of them rejecting the discipline and correction and instruction from God? Drink water from your own cistern, running water from your own well. Should your springs overflow in the streets, your streams of water in the public squares? Let them be yours alone, never to be shared with strangers. Okay, so what it's saying is that people should scramble to come into the pure water of God. And they shouldn't let the water of God become muddied water. Like, it says later on in Proverbs, like a polluted well or a muddy well or a muddy body of water are the righteous who give way to the wicked. So it's saying don't give way to the wicked. Be in the Spirit of God. May your fountain be blessed, and may you rejoice in the wife of your youth. A loving doe, a graceful deer, may her breast satisfy you always. May you ever be intoxicated with her love. Why, my son, be intoxicated with another man's wife? Why embrace the bosom of a wayward woman? For your ways are in full view of the Lord, and he examines all your paths. The evil deeds of the wicked ensnare them. The cords of their sin hold them fast. For lack of discipline they will die, led astray by their own great folly. So there's a reason why it's being compared to a woman, right? The city of God and the city of the devil, what have you. because romantic justice is extremely important to God. And he doesn't want people to choose the ways of the sinners, right? Eros is a pagan deity of erotic desire. Psyche is said to be his consort. Psychology and erotic desire. Then you have Hermaphrodites, Hermes and Aphrodite. And Hermes' equivalent is Mercury. That's where you get the word, a root term for the name Mercury is merc and mark, right? It connects to merchandise, right? And marketplace, right? The mark of the beast, the mark of the pagan system, the mark of rebellion against universal pinpoint and moral precision. Like I pointed out, the word Horus can refer to the Son of God, or it can refer to one of many pagan deities that superimpose themselves on the Son of God. Well, how do you know? You know by the fruit. You don't necessarily know by the label. It's semantics, right? Romantic, right? Romantic. Semantic, cryptic, right? It's this tick words, right? And they're connected. And there's other ones as well that I can't think of right now. And so we see that the semantics of man were put there by the devil, who God allowed to confound the speech of man to some degree. Thus the Tower of Babel, right? Babel, babbling on, baby line, Babylon, Rothschild, child, Nicole Kidman, right? And there's a lot of words and names like this that connect to the occult. There's reasons why people name themselves that. There's a reason why it translates into English, because it's part of a system of occultists who are trying to confound the divine speech and language of God. The word language is a play on words for line gauge. The mature and virtuous line of God, the Lion of Judah, right? The word lion is like the word line. And where do you draw the line? Where you draw the line has everything to do with drawing the spirit. If you draw the line in the right place and say, hey, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to conform to the state. I'm not going to give in to their threats and their harassment and their stalking. And you draw the line in the right place, right? The word draw is the word spelled backwards. Drawing on the Spirit of God, drawing the line in the right place, and wording the spirit of the devil as a result of drawing the line in the right place. In the place where the spirits meet, where they gather, where God is all that matters. Thank you.